ammo here is the Geco 308 range, available from Aoraki Ammunition. It's not yet available through the retail channel and is brought into New Zealand and made available to the general public at a wholesale price by Aoraki Ammunition, an online wholesale ammunition distributor. So this is the second review of Geco ammunition that I've done. If you want to see the review on the 223 63 grain variant of the Geco ammo, just check through my videos. So this review will discuss purely the 308 range pictured here, and will feature a shooting comparison with other brands of similar or greater pricing. The 308 range of ammunition is available in 3 types of projectiles, as are most of the hunting calibers of Geco ammunition available through Aoraki Ammunition. These are the standard soft point or Telemental Round, and the 308 variant comes in a 170 grain projectile. The hollow point or plus round, and that also has a 170 grain projectile, and the Ballistic Tip or express round with a 165 grain projectile. Some shooters wrongly assume that the grain rating on an ammunition box has something to do with how many grains of gunpowder they're loaded with, and hence their power. This may be partly due to the fact that this unit of measurement is also used to measure the grains of gunpowder in the reloading process, but in terms of factory ammunition, what's printed on the box refers purely to the weight of the projectile or the head of the bullet, and these varying weights will be suited to higher or lower twist rate barrels. So the first round in the range is the all-rounder Telemental Round. This round is a general purpose hunting round, and in 308 caliber will tackle all the game we have here in New Zealand, from larger game such as wild pigs and red deer, as well as fallow deer and goats quite happily. The soft lead tip means that on impact this round will mushroom open and increase its spread of damage as it travels through its target. The other 2 rounds available in the 308 range have a bit more specialist purpose. So the plus or hollow point round is designed for greater penetration on larger game. So while the projectile will still mushroom similarly to the soft point and increase its diameter, it's designed to hold together and suffer less separation of the core and the jacket of the bullet, and suffer less fragmentation. So this means that the round will achieve greater penetration through heavy muscle and tissue, which is found on larger game surrounding the vital areas, and it's less likely to be deflected by bone. The last tip is the Ballistic Tip or express round, and it's the long range specialist of the range. At 165 grains, it's slightly lighter than the other 2 rounds and has a more streamlined design. This reduces drag on the round and means that it retains its velocity and energy out to longer ranges and has a very flat trajectory. This has 2 benefits over other projectiles for long range hunting and shooting. The first and most important is that the round maintains significantly more knockdown power out to longer range despite its smaller size. It's generally accepted that it requires 1,000 foot-pounds of energy left in your round to take down a deer at any given range, but it's understood that that can vary depending on the size of your round and the placement of your shot. So a well-placed shot would require far less to do the job, and a poor shot could need more than 800 to 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to take down a deer. But it's as good a measure as any for the sake of reference. So we'll compare the bullet energy in foot-pounds remaining in the projectile between the Geco Express and the Geco Plus rounds. So the Plus has dropped below the 800 foot-pound threshold required to take down a deer just after about 400 yards, which for most hunters is more than adequate range. However, the Express retains that level of energy and knockdown power out to approximately 650 yards, so giving it that bit extra reach and that little bit of extra smack further out on the long range shots. The second benefit is that because the round's travelling faster, it travels further and experiences less bullet drop. Again, when compared to the Plus projectile out at the extreme ranges of 1,000 yards, the Express has experienced 337 inches or 28 feet less drop. This is important as all scopes have a limited range of adjustment to compensate for bullet drop, and this round having less drop means that you'll be able to adjust out to a longer range before your bullet drops off the end of your scope's ability to adjust. To put this into real terms, on a Burris 6.5 to 20 long range scope, that has 90 MOA of adjustment. If its 100 yard zero is somewhere near the middle of the range, it will have 45 MOA left for adjustment. For the 170 grain hollow point plus round, I can adjust out to 800 yards before I've reached the limits of my scope, whereas the Express would allow me to adjust out in excess of 1,000 yards before that happened. Now it's not so important to the average New Zealand deer hunter, but to long range shooters that extra 200 yards can be the difference.
Well, we're hoofing it today. It's been a little bit rainy and a little bit muddy for the two-wheel drive to get up to the back of the farm, so yeah, hoofing it with all the gear. Hey guys, thanks for joining me on this beautiful but bloody freezing day out here in beautiful Onefero. We're just out to do the 308 testing today for the Geco 308 review. Behind me is the 100 yard target, and behind me is my Hauer M1500 308 rifle. There will be a review on this little beauty, I love it. Today looking more like an ammo shop, but that's never a bad thing. So we're going to be trying out the three different types of Geco 308 ammunition, which is the soft point or Telemental, the Express and the Plus tip. So trying out those different tips and comparing them against some PMC X-Match, which is pretty good quality PMC ammunition with Sierra Match King projectiles, so that should shoot nicely. Comparing it against some Federal, which a lot of us will be familiar with. Some PPU, Privy Partisan 308, that's 180 grain, and the Federal's 180 grain. And some PMC Bronze, and that's just Full Metal Jacket target rounds really. That's 147 grains, so a bit of a smaller projectile on that. So as you can see from the photos that I've put up on screen and the prices, this stuff is available at the lower end of the scale. You can go up, and I'll put up some comparison pricing a little bit later on 308 ammunition, but you can definitely get well in excess of $3, sometimes $4 a bullet and plus, to get really good quality ammunition. Now the bonus with the Geco ammunition is that it is that quality, but you're not paying that price because it's not coming to you through a retail channel, it's coming to you via mail order direct from the wholesaler. So that's where your savings are there. So we'll go through, have a shot with all this ammunition, bugger it, hate my job, and come back to you with the grouping, see how they perform against each other and see how the Geco stacks up. From my other shooting with other Geco ammunition, including the 223 and the 243, I've got some high expectations of the 308, so we'll see how it stacks up against the other lower cost ammunition. Okay. Well, we've got the Express, the Telemental, the Plus, all shooting quite nicely. It's the Federal, and this is PPU. First shot here. Don't know where that second shot went, but it disrupted my stuff. PPU has destroyed my shit. Alright, bit of a tape job. And we're back up and going. Oh, make sure that sticks. Alright, let's keep on going with the other ammo. Okay, so deciphering this hodgepodge of bullet holes. Shot first were the Geco rounds, so these three here,
The Geco Express, yep, the Ballistic Tip. These three here are the Geco soft point Telemental, and that's what my gun was actually zeroed for, but through the shooting trial I figured I must have nudged about an inch to the right on the scope, or it doesn't feel like we've got a lot of wind here today, but maybe we have anyway. So this here is the plus, the hollow point rounds, and you can see there's quite a drop between this and this because I was aiming for this target up here, and they've fallen down here about the inch to the right. These are about the inch to the right, and these are about the inch to the right. So then I've used this target for the Federal. These three are the Federal. Down here is the PPU 180 grain, and that's killed my target, so we had to do some retaping, and that bullet hole's down there. Hard to say what that grouped really. I should probably adjust for it and shoot off another 3, which I will. This is the PMC bronze, so not the best grouping, but after these ones here I figured I'd be off the target, so I did adjust that inch, even though it's not very scientific. I actually adjusted 1.5 inches, but I'll knock it back a ½ inch. And so this is the PMC bronze x-tac match, which has got some bloody good grouping for it actually. That's also available through Aoraki, but that's shot bloody nicely. And yeah, as I say, that's the standard bronze grouping, not so good, but that's pretty much baseline target ammunition, so it's pretty cheap. I will go back and shoot another 3 PPU at this, so we can see if we can get a better picture of the grouping, because that is too hard to tell really how that's grouped. Okay, so we've had another 3. I've adjusted back and adjusted slightly up for the PPU because it was dropping well below the other ammo. So yeah, that's these 3 here in that last group, so they're sort of stringing similar to the bronze. And up there on the top of that little hill is my perch, my 100-yard perch in my winter shooting range.